Okay. My name is Matteo Defanti. I'm in Italy, but I did a path of entrepreneurship there in Bulgaria. That's where I met Todor. I work in the IT from many years. Uh, Mainly, I work with the industries, the industrial sector. Uh, and the challenge that I'm facing these days is how to change their models in order for them to be more productive and find out where they have some issues, some problem that they can improve in order to be more competitive. Okay, I will switch to the slides. I prepare a few slides for you. So now you should see the slides. Okay. Okay. But wait a moment. Okay, perfect. Okay. This is the name of my company, Azurebox. We work with the company, as I said, mainly where we act is from the infrastructure. We analyze the processes for the company, then we go to understand the infrastructure if there are some failures, some point that can be improved, and then we try to migrate. We propose solutions that are in the cloud, and then so on and so forth till we pass from the software, the on-premises infrastructure to the software as a service solution. I jump this introduction. I already spoke. I'm a developer, an IT administrator, and a DevOps, which is the mix of the two things. Okay. Azurebox is a company. We are a consultancy company, but my plan for Bulgaria are to create a product for monitoring the companies, the assets, the industrial assets. We are working with the agri sector, the retail, but the strongest sector is the industrial one. We work with the small, medium enterprises for the moment. Okay, I prepare a bit of introduction about the value of the data. This is something you can find also in Wikipedia, and it's the modern way we acquire information. It's just a summarize because it's more complex and there are few theories, but data is simply the digitalized event that we capture from, for example, our production lines, and I put down some values, but they are not anything scientific. It's just to give the idea. Data alone makes no sense. We passed a lot of time collecting data, but until they are data, they don't give us value. We start getting some values when we organize those data, and we find out which one is good and which one is not good. So when we scratch the surface in order to separate the relevant from the trash, then we go in the direction of knowledge. So when we have those good information, we find out the relations, we recognize the pattern of those information, we can have insights on the information. That's where the value of the raw data makes sense. We have a great value. But when we have those value, again, in the industry, we don't get too much, because the way we want the data to make sense is when the data can change our model, can change our production, can improve the process. So wisdom, as the last point, is when we apply that knowledge in the process, and then we start collecting data again, more precise data, information again, and we create new knowledge that can give us a few more insights. Okay, so why do we have to grab data? Because we want to improve our process. This also come from the lean production. So we ask ourselves a few questions like what are we doing, what we do, who is doing the process, how many people are doing the process, where and why is done that process. Maybe only with those few questions we can find a way to change the process. Maybe changing one phase before another or after can save us money. But another way, and that is very efficient, is for example collecting data directly on the machines, because sometimes happen that entrepreneurs are thinks that they are making a profit, but after a few times they realize that the energy, for example, involved in the process of creating their products is too much, and they are wasting a lot of money in energy. So collecting data to maximize the value of the process and see hidden opportunities and also hidden costs, because they are even more a concern for entrepreneurs. We saw a lot of change in the industry because the ecosystem is grown. We passed from the industry 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. Now we are in the fourth phase. So we saw the technology that changed, and had become more complex, had become faster and more integrated. So we cannot, if something goes wrong, we really have to make sure that we have a way to fix the things, because it's not something you can the people can see and they can fix it. It's not like a gear that you see it's broken and you change it. Here we have data, and there is the need for specific professions in order to achieve the goals of repairing and move forward the production. So now the challenge is the complexity, and we have introduced naturally we introduce points of failure in the ecosystem because of those complexity that offer a vast attack surface for competitors and hackers. So we have to the challenge is also to maintain the security, to maintain the data of the customer well protected. So, and also we have to work on the backups and all the things in order to restore as fast as possible. And now in the era of Industry 4.0, we have joined the IT and the OT part, meaning that now the machine can communicate directly with the IT part, and maybe an order is sent from a different country or directly from a process, from a website, from an order page for the customer. It sends us the order, and the machine do that process that order. So now we have this was when we were in the industry 3.0, these two parts were separated. There was no communication, not strong communication between the two. Now we know that those two sector part of the company has joined. So the information technology, the IT, has joined with the operational. So when we were, as IT guys, we were used to SQL Server, networks, clouds, containers, software reports, and so on and so forth. And now we have to get used to the new protocols, for example, of PLCs, which are industrial computers, RTUs, HMI and SCADA, which are complex system for managing machines, machinery, production line, embedded technology, which means little computers that are in production. They can be at the edge or little cells that manage the production, and something that is becoming even more popular and is typical with those products that after they are sold to the customer, they keep transmitting data, the IoT devices. And in order to improve the process, we also have to take care of the data coming from those devices. And they are millions. They can be millions of devices. They can be thousands. They are everywhere in the world. So there are new challenges. So what my consultancy is we have, for example, customer that has the on-premise solution, which means that all the IT staffs are on their sites. This makes them this makes some problems because they must have the people trained to figure out the problems, trained to troubleshoot, trained to change the things, and on-premise things get old, they get broken. So the solution we propose to the customer is going to a private cloud or a public cloud or an hybrid cloud, depending on the privacy they need on their data. Primary on the hardware, because as the fact we are in IT and OT, the hardware makes had a strong role because it's the basic part for the resiliency of the company, and then with whole hardware we cannot guarantee the standards of security. Then we work on software, on network. We will virtualize the systems. We analyze the connected machines, the edge device, and the field device, the IoT devices. The method it's rewriting, rewriting code, refactoring, meaning moving the infrastructure, and re-architecturing is changing the infrastructure. Below you see we pass from the on-premise, then we go to infrastructure as a service, to the platform as a service, to the function as a service, and then to the software as a service, meaning we move the on-premises, which is physical, which is something you bought and is there getting old in your company, to something that is moving to software, to a simply software, so the operator doesn't have all the infrastructure to be used, so less complexity. And is a process. It's not something you pass from the on-premise to the software as a service. It's very difficult to do that. It's a process you transfer your on-premise servers and stuff on an infrastructure as a service on Azure, for example, on the cloud, on AWS, whatever you want. Then you go to the platform as a service, meaning you take only the services and put them on specific machine that only gives you the data and the software surface. You don't have all the layer below. The function as a service is simply a function, very very tight, very atomic, and the software as a service is a complete software that you simply have to not even install. You simply go on the web and get the information from there, use the software from there. So Industry 4.0 is the digital transformation of industry. It changes the business models and the value along the chain. In order to make the sense of Industry 4.0 we have to achieve this. We have to find a way to find out the new business model that are in our production. We are not simply producing things. We have to think that those things at some point goes to the customer, and when they are the customer, we have to take care of those devices too, because those devices, for example, give us the insights we need for improve our process, to change some steps, and to be faster on the production. So now a lot of technology is involved. We have storage, processing power, meaning CPU, backup technologies, and the complexity needs for security and risk prevention. We need expert people that can manage the technology, and partners that support us very quickly, and for our system, redundancy. So the customer is seeking for a simple solution, and behind this simple solution there is all this complexity. So this is our role, to make the customer feeling he is doing his job and not taking care of the devices in order to his job to be done, because there is no value for him in maintaining the system. This is the idea we try to pass to our customer, because there is no value in maintaining the devices when they are of the company. The value is given by the device they have on the fields, because the customer has customers that pay fees on the data they receive, and those data are some way also to belongs also to our customer. I prepared a small demo to show you how we, for example, we have a customer that is in the vending machine sector. He is involved in selling coffee. He has a lot of machines out, and the main problem he is facing is that as the fact the coffee machine is given for free, at the condition that you buy the coffee, the customer buy the coffee. We wanted to provide a solution in order for him to understand how many coffee have been sold, and have been sold by the bar, the pub, because if somebody says, let's suppose 10 kilos of coffee, it's not possible to have 100,000 coffees. So maybe the person, the final customer, the bar, it's buying coffee from somewhere else. So in this demo, we simulate the grab of the data from the production line. It's not a production line, from the field. Those data will be sent to the cloud. Then the information will be reported in Power BI. Okay, so let's switch. Let me do last thing. Here I prepare this little software here. It's written in C#, and here we have the map. So let's suppose we have the machine, for example, one can be in Sofia, one can be in Varna, one can be in Plovdiv, and one can be in Pernik. Okay, this solution, we have to imagine that these ones here, every one of these windows here are the machines, because we can insert devices, and we can grab those data directly from the electronics of the machine. So let's suppose we have a few cappuccino done in Sofia, some espressos. Let's do the same in Plovdiv, Varna, and Pernik. If we switch to Power BI, we see there is no data at the moment, but as long as the page updates, we get those data directly on the cloud. And we are ready to face those data. I will show you a little bit bigger. Okay, so we have the data here. We, for example, see that in Sofia we sold 9 espresso and 5 cappuccino. If we go back, it's 9 espresso and 5 cappuccino, and so on and so forth. We also can send data about, for example, the boiling temperature, the beans level for all those machines. Let's suppose this, for example, is solving another problem he had. Now here below we are simply seeing the data flowing through the cloud. The data is not here locally. They are going to the cloud, and then from the cloud they are grabbed from the Power BI dashboard. Okay, so we have also those data giving us the idea of the boiling temperature, and we can set up alarms. For example, in this demo is not available, but we can set the alarm, and we can see, for example, the level of the beans we have in the various customers. So, for example, this is not the case with those data. We have to work better on the data, but we can be predictive. For example, when a customer is ending the beans, so we can go there and propose to buy more beans, and those data are updated almost in real time. For example, if we go back to Sofia and we prepare more coffee and more espresso, and we wait a minute that it updates, and then we go back to see close, we see that now we have in Sofia we have 10 cappuccino and 23 espresso. Let's see if it's true. 10 espresso and 23 espresso and 10 cappuccino. From this dashboard, the customer can, for example, filter for the city. If he wants to see just a few cities, he can filter on the cities. We can filter on the values, and do all the things that can give the customer some information. This is a way which is fast to provide data to the customers. Here on the cloud, what we have, this is Azure, Microsoft Azure, and we have a lot of things we can do here. We can have virtual machines, we can have storage, we can have all kinds of devices, but what we are interested in at the moment are these services, which is very IT, which is the stream analytics that is sending the data to Power BI, and this one here, which is the Event Hub, which is the collector for the data you see here below. These are the data that are sent, and this one here is responsible from grabbing the data. The solution here costs more or less 90 euros per month. So if somebody has 1,000 of machines outside, it makes a great sense having a system like this or other system that can assist to understand the information they had. So this is the process. We have the application, the one you saw, which are the coffee machines that can be everywhere in the world. the Event Hub is grabbing the data. Stream Analytics is processing them in order to for Power BI to be able to show the customer. So I won't go on Power BI at the moment because there is also a desktop version. There is also a desktop version which is not synchronized as the one on the cloud. For example, you cannot you have to manually ask for new data when you need them. So for example, you have the same functionality basically. So you are here, you can filter on cities, you can filter, for example, to see directly in Plovdiv what is going on. You can have a few indicators, you can change the filter, data related, and also you can go for more complexity. For example, here we have a tab. We can see, for example, we can order the data to have the data for the counter cappuccino, the counter espresso. We can have data from 2 different regions. We can change the visualization. We have a few kind of data visualization. They can be circular, they can be bars, whatever. It's a free software, so if you want, you can go and grab it and test it and do your experiments. So Power BI is an easy tool that allows people to create dashboard and reports. There's the web version and the desktop version. I show you both. They are free and give you a lot of possibilities because you can really do whatever you want on data. It's part of the Azure 365 pack and is integrated with OneDrive, Teams, and SharePoint, which are tools that are very used. Now Teams is for free also. OneDrive, it's the business one. This one is not free. It's included in the Office 365 E1 or E3, E5 package, which are the ones for the enterprises.
Sorry to interrupt you, but just wanted to let you know that students have access to a lot.
Sorry, I cannot hear you.
To let you know that the students have access to all of these, also Power Apps, a lot of Microsoft. I don't. We're A1 or A3, probably A1. So they have access to all of that.
With E1, they also have access to Power BI Pro.
Yep.
Which give a few more possibilities. For example, to joining data directly from Azure objects. There are some difference. I didn't go into the difference between one and the other, but when we are in it's good to know that you have that licenses. The customer usually buy the E1 or the E3 when we are talking about industries and offices and so on and so forth. So all this is included in the pack. They are not able to use it. They don't even know that they have this power, but they have, and it's important for them to have those data, because now they have what we see is that they have some access solution, Excel solutions, but they can be, for example, Excel, the old version of access. So they have to keep all the operative systems in order to make the program to work. So if they want to migrate, they can grab the data also from access and migrate easily to new solutions. So gradually we have to move to Power BI, for example. Power BI is simply for the visualization of the data, but most of the time the operation done on the data, it's for the vast majority is reading those data. It's not to, yeah, we have the writing part, but the most frequent one is the reading, and the one that makes more sense. We can choose, for example, the different sources. We can join tables. We can model our data in the way we want. And then finally, we choose the visualization of the things. We choose which column if we want to aggregate the data, for example, summarizing them, and we can work on some aesthetic aspects on the aspects of, for example, changing the colors and so on and so forth. And then we can publish directly on the Power BI online. So, for example, here in my Power BI, I did the export from yesterday of the table of the data I had on the Power BI desktop. It was this one here without this. So we can go here, publish, saving the. It's not possible to change to save. Okay, it's already open from some other software. Okay, I don't know why it's saying that. It's the only program that has the access to the data. But anyway, you can publish. You can publish directly on the Power BI. So from when you are here, you can give access to anyone, changing the permission. So giving access to the people that needs to see those insights.
Matteo?
Yeah.
Just sorry to interrupt you, but I wanted to add a detail. The beauty of the Power BI and the integration of Excel into all that is, I mean, in the example you provided, obviously you have machines, you have the exact location of GPS and so on and so forth. But even if you have data that are not linked with GPS data, but have written addresses, even in Bulgarian, automatically Excel can or Power BI can find the GPS locations of the address in a foreign language through automatic integration with Bing, and can be visualized also on the map in the same way as if you have GPS coordinates. So Bing locates the addresses with almost the same rightness as the GPS.
Yeah, in fact, if you see here, down here on the map, the service is provided by Bing. And of course, yes, I have not the Bulgarian keyboard, but as everything is chained, so you write an address, whatever language, and then it's normalized by some services that we are not interested in because they are working abroad on some servers of Google, in case of Google Maps, or Bing and the servers of Microsoft. They do this processing, and they change the data in order to for them to be normalized. When the data are normalized, then they simply put them on the map. For example, here we simply said Sofia. I simply write Sofia. I simply write Pernik. It's pointing to the center of the city. But if we provide a real address, we can provide a real address. Also, we can provide the real coordinates, but I didn't do like that because it was just for a demo purpose. Azure, as I told you, is the Microsoft Cloud. There are so many services. Just to give you an idea of those services, we have a lot of them. For example, when we want to create a new new service. To activate a new service, we have, for example, those specific for AI and machine learning, analytics. They are from third part. Let's see if we have if we can filter to have only the Microsoft ones. Okay. You can have virtual machines. Oh, it changes every time. We can have virtual machines. We can have our Power BI report server. We can have SQL Server servers. And these are, for example, virtual machine are like what I call what is the infrastructure as a service. Then, for example, if we want to provide the platform as a service, we have to provide them databases. So we buy simply a database and not the whole server. So we only have one instance. We have other few rules, and for the application, we can go to the web for the web app. If we for the front page, Power BI is a software as a service solution because it's the top of the you don't have to know where the data are. You simply have to use the software, do some joining, getting the data from the data set. Here, for example, you see you have the not here on the other working space. You have the data set coming from the stream analytics, and you can have the data directly here. You can do all the operation you want. You can the experience is very close to the experience you have in the Power BI desktop. I suggest to working with the Power BI desktop as long as it's possible, and then switch to that one because this one is more. It's easier to work on the desktop one. You can add filters here. For example, if I want to show simply the counter for cappuccino and espresso and the city, and then we can simply say I want to see those data on the map. So it's just a few clicks to do something. Very easy and very fun also, because we can give a value to data, and it's not that big effort to get to this point. So based on the needs of the customer, we choose the services to activate. This is the idea I have for Bulgaria, which is the idea is to create the culture of data, for example, that, as we saw, can be the engine for generating new incomes for the customer. And when we have a more satisfied customer that see that the investment is done for implementing these, for changes, for improving the process, and to get more data, to analyze those data, it's a process that takes an effort. When we have this happy customer, he will be more happy to invest more because he's trying to get even more information, because he understood that the power of the data are the new oil. So when we arrive at that point, we have a customer that totally understood the power of the cloud, totally understood the power of the data, and we can work on all the devices he had abroad. So what we provide to customer, it's the monitoring solution. For example, the one that you saw, we consolidate the IT infrastructure and we implement the IoT strategy. They are three separate things, but they are joined at some point. The process of changing the business model is not something that today the model is one way and tomorrow is totally changed. It's a process that we have to change something and then keep monitoring, watching the KPI, the key indicators, monitoring them to see if the change we made are an improvement or a downprove. Consolidating the IT infrastructure, because most of the time we have customer that has very old IT infrastructure, meaning that we cannot provide fast solution for monitoring, for example. We cannot be safe that the machine is completely connected to the IT part of the company, because one typical case that happened is the device broke. For example, a switch broke. When a switch breaks in the fields, means that the network is disconnected. If we have a machine that must be connected to the IT in order to work, and that at that point they are disconnected, we have no much time to restore the connection. So what we provide, for example, is the redundancy of another switch, which is totally is not working when the data are flowing to the other one, but it starts to work when the other one is not working no more, without any intervention for the customer. And then we have to monitor that we have a broken switch. At the point, then we can go to substitute it. Implement the IT strategy, meaning that we can understand what data must be collected from the field, what is the value of those data. The typical strategy here is to that many companies started, because IoT is pretty new concept. It's a 5 years old process that took place more or less, maybe more, because before it was not called IoT. But okay, they collected a lot of data without knowing if they were important or not, and now they are analyzing in order to get the knowledge I was talking before. So what are the area we can try improve? We can improve the office, the connection between the branches and the headquarters, if that is the case, between the office and the production and operation part of the company, in the monitoring of the product that left the company. For example, those devices, they can be meters, for example, they can be machinery. If they want to, for example, the predictive analysis is to understand when there can be some problem that are joined to something to happen. For example, let's suppose we have an engine and we are monitoring the temperature. We know that when the temperature of an engine is getting too high, probably there is some problem. Or if in the whole life of an engine, the temperature, for example, is 20 degrees, and at some point we have 70 degrees, something is going wrong. And what is the value? The value we can have for our customer and for us. We can say we can have some alarms that tell us, okay, you have this device that is getting too hot for a period. It's an anomaly. So we can provide a new engine for the company in order, in cases of some problem, or going to analyze if there are some other issues connected to that overheating. So the final customer won't have the production stopped unexpectedly, and we have the opportunity to sell a new engine or give the assistance in order to repair the machinery. We are a startup, so we are flexible, and the growth of know-how and expertise would be very huge, meaning that working on project like this is not the same project. If you work for the vending machine for the vending machine and working for a company that produced machinery. And there are different problems, there are different data to be collected, there are different insights. So it's always exciting and this enlarge the portfolio of the offer, and the growth it's very high for the reason there is very few things, only tools. We can have a strong can become more mature in a very short time. The working is remote. The monitoring activity can be applied on every sector. We simply have to know what is the customer need, what he wants to monitor, and also we have to be good at help the customer to make him understand that more things we monitor, the more data we collect, the more data we can transform into knowledge. We will be dealing with the European market, not only the Bulgarian market. And another thing is that working with technology at every level, it's funny, because at some point, yeah, it's not even always funny. When things start to work, the job becomes funny, because you see that with a very little effort, you can reach very deep insights, and that's a challenge, but at some point it's very interesting to get to that point. So we are looking for people that it depends on the passion. Somebody that is more passionate about getting the data or processing the data from the electronics, from the systems, from the IT, from the assets, from wherever. People that like to manage project, because we have to speak with the customer, we have to understand the needs, and the whole project must be managed by someone that is the reference point for the customer. People that would like to become sales and to work on sales and marketing, meaning that we have to create the culture of data. For creating that, we have to work on the LinkedIn. We have to work on the LinkedIn is the only one that comes to my mind, to the website and so on. If somebody is passionate for the development, there is the possibility to create development and security, because nowadays we are experiencing that security is very important, and it must be provided by standard. It's not a feature no more, is something that must be implemented as is. We are looking for people that are passionate for IT systems infrastructures, and people that are curious to learn new things. This is the real engine. The most important things is put at the last, but it's the most important thing. Okay, so based on the profile of the student, we would like to hear your perspective, what you would like to become, to be, to see. We offer different paths, and also for the fact that we are a startup, you have the opportunity to see all the aspect of the management of a startup, because in a startup you can see everything from the invoicing part, from the accountability, to the customer, to the customer quality, calling the customer, asking for if they were happy with the system, and all the various aspects. So I was thinking for about 100 hours in a month, but this can vary a bit depending on what we can do. Okay, so
Matteo,
yeah.
to comment on this 100 hours in a month. My estimate when I mentioned 100 hours, it was for the full project within 3 months. So it might, I mean, from your perspective, it could be 100 hours if they work in a group of say 3 or 4 people. That might make 100 hours in a month as a group, but individually, it might not be possible within the current thinking or proposal that they work this as a course assignment, because it would go too high in terms of comparing with the other people, and it would go like more like real internship that is aiming at job placement or something like this. So I would say this should be negotiable
Yeah,
based
it's
on
negotiable, of course.
yeah.
It was something, yeah, it was not, yes, of course, it's negotiable, respecting the time of the project you have in the university. So I will eliminate this sentence, this last sentence here. I show you the path that I was thinking about. I subdivided in four. For example, the path for the data analysis, the path for the marketing and sales, the IT engineering, and the developer. So in the first one, the student will be working on the process of transforming the data. He already found data on the cloud. So the concern is only to get out the insights. If somebody is more interested in the marketing and sales, the student can work on the creation of the new website and create the marketing strategy for the Bulgarian market, for example. The IT engineer is something like related to the IT system, so get to know the companies that they get to know the infrastructure of the company and propose solution for improving the redundancy and the resiliency and the security of the devices. And in the case somebody is more interested in development, there is the possibility to create a portal for those data to be captured from the devices abroad. So whatever device, and this is my, and I am done. If you have some question, I would be happy to answer. Here there are my contacts. In a few moments, I will go to catch a plane to come to Bulgaria. So in the next day, I will be there in Sofia, and I'm available COVID permitting, with the permission of the COVID, to come to wherever wants more information, to have a beer and so on.
Yeah, bars are open. Universities are closing, but the bars work. Yeah, okay. So you have the floor for questions to Matteo and to myself if needed.
Hello. I very much like your presentation, and I have one question. Can we just participate in one part of the things you said? I mean, in the data analyze.
Yeah, I prepared 4 paths, but somebody can say, I would like to be more expert in one part, and I would like to work only to be more specific, to be more vertical on that field. Of course, you can work only on an aspect. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Any other question?
So
Yeah, Paulina?
Okay.
Paulina?
Okay, if you have other question that comes to your mind, maybe
Hello,
today,
can you hear
tomorrow.
me?
Yeah.
Hi, Matteo. It was very nice seeing your presentation, and
You can switch. Sorry, you can switch on your camera so Matteo can see you. I can see you. So I have put names to
okay.
faces.
Hi.
Hi. Let me
Um,
switch my camera on.
Very interesting presentation of yours, and that's a great opportunity, I think. My question is, how many hours, if we are interested in working with you, how many hours are there gonna be available? And because me and my team are interested in the project, but all of us are working 8 hours, and we're also going to university and going to classes. And are you flexible for that kind of 1 to 2 hours, 3 hours per day or week? I don't know. What are the possibilities for that?
Um, yeah, we are flexible. We have no. But one question: can you see me or?
Yes,
Am,
I do see you.
okay. Okay. Yeah. There is no problem for the time. I will. Uh, what is better for the university? I didn't have the idea of the timing. I just prepared the presentation,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I'm happy of the opportunity to be here. So for me, it's okay to also to have 2 hours per day, 2 hours per week. 2 hours per week maybe is too less, but 2 hour, let's say 6 hour per week is fine,
Mhm.
depending on your project or with the
Yeah.
university. You know your.
My my estimate for a good project is about 100 hours per semester, which is say 3 months, which makes about or four semester, which makes about an hour um, and a half or something like this per day. I think that could guarantee good end project. So if you're working in a team, this multiplies one and a half hours per day, or even 1 hour per day, uh, to say 4 hours a day, which is pretty good investment as a team. Um, because if you just work a few hours per week, you will have say 20 hours. So for 20 hours, you can't do much um, in terms of real engagement and real learning. So you need to have that at least about 100 hours. So the internships are usually 2 to 3 to 400 hours during semester. So that's my estimation. So you have a few more classes. So, and having in mind that you work, so that's my estimate. And of course, if you like the project, if you're engaged in it, you will invest more time because it's appealing to you. And if not, you'll just go a bit below, but kind of below 50 hours for the semester, there is no sense. So that's my point of view. So when you start, I'll be also in a way participating in this um, uh, travel because you might need, especially in terms of marketing, you might need access to data that neither Matteo nor you have. So I can provide you with data. Um, for the marketing, and of course data analysis would be provided by Matteo.
Mhm. I have one question for you too. is there gonna be the opportunity for more of one team to be working on this project, because maybe we're gonna have more impact on it, or is it just for one team?
I mean, in principle, yes. However, I'm hesitant to say that you all work on that, because division of labor and kind of responsibility would be um, diluted. So yeah, let's consider that. Let's see if there are more people that are interested, and try to see maybe we can, in a way, design teams according to the paths Matteo was saying, because marketing can be one thing and can be worked in a team, and then data analysis can be another team, also based on what Matteo would like to achieve. So it really depends on like the kickoff meeting for the team and Matteo and me to see how it's going. But generally, yes, it's possible to have two teams working on two paths.
Okay.
And I guess it will be the first two paths, unless there are some more people with technical backgrounds for the other two paths. Yeah, and I think Simeon wanted to, if you don't have more questions, I would like to ask Simeon, because he had some more questions.
Yes, I would like to ask, is there
You went on mute.
is there any chance to work only on the data part but not as a team? I mean, my team doesn't work on this project, or actually I haven't asked them, so may I as
You
one
can join
person
us.
work on it?
You can join another team, yeah, or work individually. Yeah. How large is your team, Paulina?
Me, Carolina, and Cetelina. It's 3 people.
Okay, so it's possible that Simeon joins you for the data part. I don't know which path you prefer, Paulina. Or
I
join.
personally prefer the data analysis, but since we heard today for that opportunity, we have to discuss it further in the team to see who likes to specialize in what, and if this is gonna be our final project
Yeah,
that we're gonna
because
work on.
yeah, if the other want to do more marketing sales, they can work on that, and you can work with Simeon on data analysis.
Yep, sounds legitimate.
Okay, then any other questions?
Are we gonna have more meetings with you and Matteo in the future?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you decide to work on that, definitely we will organize a series of meetings. We can even meet tomorrow for a short. I have classes in the evening, but yeah, I have classes also on Saturday and Sunday, but we might meet physically somewhere and discuss different things. Yeah, sure.
Yes, I'll be around in Sofia tomorrow till Sunday.
Yeah, and then eventually again in the future.
Yeah,
I don't know when.
I'm spending a lot of time there in Bulgaria, as you know.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned that to the other group, but Matteo is here, or was here actually, through the program Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs that
Yeah.
you may heard of last year from your professor Yurdanova. So his exchange finished. He was with a colleague of mine, Daniela Jonkova. And he will be coming and traveling. Actually, another entrepreneur just left for Italy. Leonardo. Leonardo is in the cultural sphere. He'll be back again. So I'm happy. I'm helping a lot of entrepreneurs from Italy and Spain to settle do business in Bulgaria. Let's see what will happen.
Yeah, let's see what
Yeah.
will happen.
Any other questions?
Not for now from me.
Okay. So then let's do the following. Paulina talks with the other members of the team. Simeon also. Send me an email as quickly as possible today about your decision, whether you're interested to meet physically Friday or Saturday, or make another team meeting in the next 2 days to kind of set up the plan, working with Matteo as your course project. And I'll be organizing also similar guest lectures with other potential clients for the others. If you're interested, go and check the list of potential clients that I put in the e-business course on Moodle. So if you find it interesting, so they're very different potential clients, people from the culture, theaters, small retail shops, the faculty, Technomagic Land, and so on and so forth. So, and of course, if you have more detailed requests to work with other type of clients, tell me. I might talk to someone else, or I can remember that someone told me that he or she is interested in working with students. But I have very limited time to kind of organize everything in just the first 2 or 3 weeks of the semester. So you meet people like Matteo that you can work on through your projects. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention. Waiting
Thank
to
you very
hear.
much for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Matteo. And I will follow up. I'll call you after this class that I'm starting, 10 o'clock. Maybe if you are not available because you're catching a flight. I recorded
start at 15 at 3 p.m.
Yes. Okay. So because there is another group that is coming. So maybe just quickly to say hello. Say 5 minutes, something about you. I will tell them, and I'll upload the recording to the YouTube channel and to Moodle, so they can watch your presentation.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for attending, and see you. By the way, next Monday. Next Monday, the guest speaker would be one of the partners in Balkan Services. Balkan Services is a company that is active in business intelligence, but they worked with Power BI in the past. Now they work with Click. I don't know. Matteo has some experience with Click.
Yeah, Click is another system that is also free for some version, and it's very good. Maybe Click was born before Power BI, or Power BI become more popular after Click, because there's a few limitations. For example, in the free version, if you use it on a client, you cannot use it on other clients. You cannot save.
Yes. Yeah.
For example, that limitation is not present here in Power BI, and the beauty of Power BI is that the data are put in a dashboard that is public. It's private, but is in the cloud, so you can see that dashboard from everywhere in the world.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
Balkan,
Click is doing the same things.
yeah. So Balkan Services are teaching a separate course in our master program in English called Business Intelligence. So I invited them for a guest lecture on Monday for you. It will be in Bulgarian, so they're a Bulgarian company. By the way, it's a former faculty alumni who established the company. They have their primary business until recently was ERP and CRM integration, implementation and training and so on and so forth. But now they're kind of moving, they sold this business out and they're moving only towards the business intelligence field. So just have a look at the web services. I will upload all the planned guest lectures until the end of semester in a few days, maybe today, but Balkan services, check the website and be ready with questions for Monday. Yeah, Paulina, another question?
Just to ask when and where is gonna be this meeting uploaded and the presentation as well. Where can I access it on the e-learn page?
Yes, I can directly upload now the PowerPoint presentation because I have it. But
I will send the PowerPoint presentation to you, Todor, because I sent you the PDF. I can send you the PDF. I can send you
yeah. Or you can send it directly to the chat in this meeting, so people can directly download it as we speak.
Okay.
Thank
And
you.
then I will upload for the others and just for the reference to have it. And I'll upload also the presentations of Emilia Christova from today and the downloads. But it takes some time to process the video because it's still being recorded. It takes probably 20 minutes to 1 hour, depending on how many videos are being processed by Stream. Stream is the service of Microsoft that makes the video, and then I have to upload it on YouTube because there is limitation for the size of videos to be uploaded directly on the Moodle, and then I will link the video from YouTube to the Moodle course.
You should see the presentation in the chat.
Not yet.
It's saying sending. It's saying sending. Okay. Now it's shared.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. You're welcome. Any other question? Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Матео. Оставаме групата, която е от 12 часа. Само ми дайте 5 минути да пусна едно кафе.